Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Dr. Ahmed Hafez. In this video, we're going to analyze the CDA Oasis interview with the CEO of the NDEB. I have the link here for the actual interview open. So if you go through, it's a CEO here, and this is the interview itself. I took some quotes from it to analyze, what's some things to expect. So I am going to begin reconfirming that we're going to talk about is the reconfirming part of the 2022 vision. So we all know that they're going to do the 200 questions for the AFK. All right, AFK 200 questions. We know that the science is not going to change much, so it's just questions that are becoming 200. They're saying that they could get the same results and accurate evaluation of the participants with using 200 questions instead of 300, which will make it easier for you guys as well. I'm going to try to keep this as short and summarized as possible. So the question I have here is, are they going to put, so when we had 300 questions, right? It was in 6 hours. So I'm assuming 200 questions are going to be in 4 hours, right? Makes sense. So are they going to do 200 questions in one shot, 4 hours? Or are they going to do, 2 sessions, 100 questions? You have 2 hours to do, then you get a maybe 30-minute break. Then you're going to do another 100 questions in 2 hours, right? So I think it's the second thing I think they're going to do, because if their maximum per session was 150 questions, I don't think they're going to do 200 now. So in one session. So most likely it's going to be 2 hours for the first 100 questions. You get a break, then another 2 hours for the second 100 questions. That's what I think they're going to do. Okay. Now that's for AFK. Then ACJ reconfirming the point that this is the thing. The CEO did mention in the interview this comment. He said minor change in the blueprint. So ACJ has a minor change in the blueprint. We don't know what that means yet. Is there just like some changes to the templates maybe? Let's just hope it's minor again. He did say minor. So and we all know that starting 2022, the ACJ is going to be the next step after AFK, and you have to complete the ACJ to get into the ACS, which makes sense from his point, saying that we should make sure the participant has good judgment before they move on to do, skills or clinical skills. So I think that makes sense to do the ACJ first, make sure that people could pass their ACJ, have good judgment before going on to being tested in the skills. Then we have things we know about ACS. Okay. So the ACS part that we already know, they're going to have their own facility, right? Which is going to be year round. Right? Now, we have some unanswered questions. First of all, year-round, they do say that the CEO keeps using the word small. He did use the word smaller facility, okay? And he always was mentioning that it was uncomfortable and there was more anxiety during the exams in the ACS when there were a larger group of students. So it's kind of suggesting or implying that the facility is smaller, which means that they're going to be able to take less per examination. Okay, that's what I think. So less, examinees per exam. However, they're going to compensate by having it year round. I still have a big question mark on what that means. Does that mean, is it still a scheduled exam? Is it once a month? Is it once every 2 weeks? Is it once what does that mean? Or is it actually every day where you could book on your own? So at the end somewhere, at time actually 12:38, he does say flexible scheduling, right? So I'm hoping does that mean like you could just go, oh, you know what? I want to come in tomorrow to do the exam. Maybe, I don't know. So, and let's look at some other things they said about the ACS. Small facility, multiple attempts within a certain time frame. We already know that. ACS in-house canceled. They canceled the ones because of university policies. That's why they had to cancel ACS. And that's why they're looking forward to building their own facility. So they don't have to, get permission from the universities. They were planning this before COVID, actually. That's something he mentioned in an interview. And the part where they mentioned that you have to pass all the projects. Let me see here just to make sure that you guys could see everything. So they're mentioning that you have to pass all projects as well. This is going to come in handy later, pass all projects. So the justification in the interview, he said that, first of all, if someone fails a clinical project, a procedure, they shouldn't be able to go forward and do that and practice that. And they said that parallels what occurs in universities here, in accredited universities, because students here in dental schools, they have to pass the preclinical exam of that procedure before they could do it on patients. So they are thinking, well, it doesn't make sense for foreign trained dentists to fail a project and still be able to go do it out there in the real world. They should be able to pass it in this ACS exam, and they have to pass all the projects, just like how students in universities have to pass their preclinical exams before going on to do it on patients. So that was, I guess, interesting, kind of a justification of why it's fair in a way, because students here that are in schools have to pass their preclinical exams. They can't fail it and then go do it on patients, on live patients, okay? So, and I think that is pretty much it that I have about point one, which is reconfirming everything. And yeah, I think what the NDEB is doing, this is just my kind of guess, is they're opening a facility where they're going to work from, okay? Possibly. Like they're going to maybe, I'm not sure, this is my own words here, maybe they're going to relocate their office, right, into that whole facility and have the ACS. That way they only pay for one, rent, and they could that way schedule the exam happening every day. They might have someone kind of responsible for the exam. Again, this is just a guess. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it every day, or is it every week, or is it every month. I'm still waiting to know about that. They're not being, they're saying flexible schedules. These other words they're using. Flexible schedule, year-round, more frequent, right? But smaller. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, so that's the stuff. Now, the other part, which I wrote a lot about, I'm going to remove all the, erase all of this right here and just click, no. Okay. Alrighty, so let's see. Okay, the other part, the whole, the last point of this video and the second point of the interview, which is mainly about the OSCE questions, right, in ACS, right? This is the point everybody like, what's this about? Okay, so first of all, for those of you that don't know, OSCE is the last thing that you'll do before getting your NDEB certificate. Graduates of accredited dental schools, like anyone that graduated from a University of Toronto, for example, has to do the OSCE and written board exam. When you finish your NDEB process, AFK, ACJ, ACS, you also have to do the OSCE and written exam. Even if you go to university, if you take the university pathway, the indirect pathway, you still have to do the OSCE and written board exam. So what they're saying is we might want to bring in some OSCE questions into the ACS. Okay. So I'm going to read some quotes to understand what this is. So I'm going to try to make it easier for some of you that don't understand what OSCE is. OSCE is basically similar like ACJ. So ACJ is similar to OSCE, or OSCE is similar to ACJ, whatever. Okay. However, OSCE has some more extra things, extra templates, and ACJ has, so there's some templates that the other one doesn't have. ACJ has some that OSCE doesn't have. OSCE has some templates that ACJ doesn't have. The things that OSCE has that ACJ doesn't have is mainly resto and prosto. And what I mean by that is, oh, I don't know if you guys hear that dog, but there's a dog barking out there. And okay, so the resto and prosto is basically evaluating preparations, dentures, restorations, whether they're crowns, crown preps, amalgam composite restorations, or amalgam preparations, or even looking at an RPD and seeing if it's properly designed. So that's the resto prosto part of OSCE that's not included in ACJ. There are other templates and other parts that are not included as well. If you are looking for a basic help in basic sciences for dentistry, if you're not taking our full course and you need help with basic science, remember to check out, we have our basic science book published on Amazon. You could get that, and it'll help you with basic science in any dental board exam. And we also have our basic science online course published on udemy.com. So if you're interested in basic sciences, you need help and you're not taking our full course, you could get the basic science part at least, and get help with that. I'm going to start with the new courses that we have. We have just launched our OSCE online course. So for the NDEB certification exams, this works for anybody that's a graduate of an accredited program and anybody that's completed the NDEB equivalency process and wants to do the board certificate exam. So we have that online, completely online, with live help sessions as well. And we have just launched also our DSCKE exam course for the course specialty exam. So that's pretty exciting. We already have students passing that exam with high marks. So if you're a specialist and you are thinking, okay, well, what's best for me? Should I do AFK? Should I do that pathway, or should I go into the DSCK course specialty exam? You could book a consult and we could kind of figure out what's the best strategy for you. And even if you are not a specialist and you're looking for a course, our AFK and ACJ courses are robust. Our AFK keeps growing. I keep adding content to it, and recordings, plus there's live sessions, plus online quizzes. Plus you're going to get books shipped to you. So you could always book a consult if you're interested in these and you want more info about our AFK, ACJ courses or our OSCE and DSCK. We could, sit and talk over Zoom and just see what's best for you.